Will Smith's outburst against fellow actor and comedian Chris Rock has been at the top of all news headlines today, as many have criticized his reaction to Chris' joke against Jada Pinkett Smith's appearance. However, GB News presenter Colin Brazier has expressed his opinion over the events and has slammed the Hollywood actors and actresses who sat back and allowed the events to take place and then applauded Will on winning Best Actor for his performance in King Richard. Speaking about the incident during his GB News segment, Colin gave his views about the events which took place during the 94th Academy Awards. Slamming the constant coverage of the incident, he began, "Thousands of innocent civilians have died in Ukraine, and in a perfect world, no other news story should be on our lips right now. As a journalist, part of our job is to bridge the gap between what people should be thinking about and what they actually are talking about. Today, there was only one topic of conversation and not just for news junkies. How did you react then to one of the world's most famous men striking someone for telling a joke? My first thought and my initial gut reaction was it was just a slap and definitely not a punch, as some sloppier commentators asserted," he explained. Colin continued, "Will Smith, who had visibly delivered that slap with some force, was provoked by the chivalrous desire to stand up for his wife who had just been cruelly taunted in front of tens of millions of people. The right response to a joke that crosses the line is to leave the company of the person telling it, to walk out if you have to. There can be no maybe he had it coming. I have no idea what made Will Smith slap the comic who cracked a gag at his wife's expense. I don't know him from Adam, but these fabulously wealthy celebrities do help shape the shallower values of our culture. A classy response to a remark about someone we love isn't to lash out but to leave the auditorium." Smith didn't do that. After slapping the host, he was allowed to return to his seat but collect an Oscar 20 minutes later. And this is the extraordinary part, he received a standing ovation. These are celebrities who never tire of lecturing the viewing public about toxic masculinity. When it came to showing disdain from a man who just lost his nut and physically humiliated another, they were silent. Not a boo, not a slow hand clap, not a walkout. It was the herd mentality written large, confronted with a real moral conundrum, he described. Colin went on to say that he didn't accept the theory that had been circulating regarding the incident being staged and blamed the audience for not interjecting. I don't accept that. There is nothing as private as a marriage, and who knows what inner conflicts and passions spurred Smith to do harm to a fellow actor on the world's biggest stage. The real fault isn't Smith's, it's with the audience, the whole pampered tribe who love nothing more than telling us they will use their privileged positions and high profiles to stand up against injustice. But when it came to one of their own hitting a man for telling a joke, they were clueless lemmings, which is what happens when any group of people stop thinking for themselves and know only what it is to agree with one another, he slammed. Since the incident, many famous faces have also spoken out against Will's actions, as they took to Twitter to air their thoughts. Judd Apatow wrote, "Seems like Will Smith's plan to get comedians and the world to not make jokes about him is not going to pan out. The Williams family must be furious. Pure narcissism. Also, G.I. Jane was gorgeous. What exactly was insulting about being compared to a ripped, stunning to me?" Kathy Griffin commented, "Let me tell you something, it's very bad practice to walk up on stage and physically assault a comedian. Now we all have to worry about who wants to be the next Will Smith in comedy clubs and theaters." Rob Reiner added, "Will Smith owes Chris Rock a huge apology. There is no excuse for what he did. Has lucky Chris is not filing assault charges. The excuses he made tonight were bull tea. Glennon Doyle said, "Violence is never proof of love. That's a deadly idea that has fueled and excused domestic, and all, violence for far too long. Think hard about that take, please." Sick, Brazier airs weekdays at 4 p.m. on GB News.